Welcome to the Grind to Greatness podcast, where we dive deep into the world of relentless determination, hard work, and unwavering dedication to help you unlock your full potential. We're your hosts, Jonathan and Joseph, and your mentors along this journey to greatness. Each week, we'll bring you inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical tips where we've turned our dreams into reality through sheer grit and resilience. Whether you're looking to excel in your career, improve your health and well-being, or simply level up in life, this podcast is your go-to source for strategies, motivation, and the mindset needed to achieve personal excellence. And welcome back to another episode of the Grind to Greatness. This is actually our episode 20. It's a big staple in the podcast world, but this episode is brought to you by Facts Over Fads Nutrition. Are you tired of being bombarded by nutrition fads that constantly let you down or leave you worse off than you started? Our nutrition philosophy provides you with reliable coaching to make informed, healthy decisions in the direction of your goals. Our approach ensures a well-rounded understanding of nutrition, focusing on sustainable practices for long-term well-being. Our seasoned nutrition experts will guide you every step of the way. Whether you are a beginner or a health enthusiast, we are here to customize a program for your unique needs. Customized nutrition plans tailored to your lifestyle, preferences, and goals. There is no one size fits all here. Head to factsoverfads.com to get signed up today. Jonathan, welcome to episode 20, brother.
Man, that was a clean intro.
I know,
man,
bro.
You nailed it. You were practicing.
Yeah. Hit in the mirror.
That was good.
I know. I'm hyped.
Good, brother.
It's exciting, man. Episode 20. Again, the data on podcasts, and I don't think it's about purpose. I think it's not necessarily about am I at 1 million subscribers. I think people lose content and lose purpose.
Yeah.
They
do it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Which is why they give up.
Yeah. I was just listening to Inky Johnson, and he said, people don't give up. People don't quit. Because, what does he say? People don't give up. People don't quit because.
Come on, Joseph. I've heard him say it.
The second line is people give up. People quit because life makes them forget why they do it.
Yeah.
And life is not going to make me forget why I want to impact people in the most positive way.
Yeah.
In the best way we know how, which is through communication and coaching, which is now through a podcast.
Yeah.
So I told you before I got here, or right when I got here, I was like, man, let's fucking get to 100.
Yeah.
I think we'll be there by June.
I'm fucking down. I think people quit is because they get in their feelings.
Oh yeah. It's funny. Yeah. I know, like, sometimes we say, hey, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share it. I don't even pay attention to it.
No, I mean, if you do it, awesome. If you don't do it, awesome. But we're still trying to grow and impact.
Yeah. I don't want my purpose of the podcast to be because growth.
Yeah.
And I don't want to quit because lack of growth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is fun. It's challenging. It's mentally motivating for me to sit here with you and go back and forth.
Holds us to a high standard to continue to learn.
Yep. And so if anything, coming here and putting it on camera and like listening to ourselves later is like very helpful for just me. So fuck everybody else.
Absolutely. If I can continue to work on my speaking,
yeah, we talked about that.
And get better, and this is my reps and my practice, then I'm going to show up, I'm going to do it regardless of how I am right now, my current version of myself. Like, to me, I'm terrible right now. This is not great. But also knowing if I just keep showing up anyways, eventually, over time, I'm going to get better.
Yep. I love it.
So I love showing up, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. You as well. Topic of the day. Victimization, blaming outside sources for your lack of self-control or your lack of leadership or your lack of parental skills.
Yeah, so first of all, disclaimer, we're human beings.
No, we're not.
We all make mistakes. We're all subject to making errors. And so I say this because I became a victim myself recently. Okay. Right? We talk about not getting frustrated over external environments, which is this exact topic that we're going to be discussing. Is not letting outside distractions or topics or things go on that determine what I'm going to do in my day, right? And that's just called being mentally resilient and emotionally strong. It's not letting outside forces fuck with that. I was a victim, bro. I was driving and I was listening to a podcast. No, I wasn't listening to podcasts. is, and I wasn't driving.
Rewind. Okay, what were you doing and where were you at?
It was 5 a.m. I just finished writing the motivational lesson for the day for my athletes. And part of it, I have to scroll through social media because I like to, especially it was on Monday. So on Monday, I like to leave them a little clip, watch this clip, and then I create a message and I have them extract the lesson, they comment. And so while I was scrolling through, my saved clips, I ran across a clip that just got inside my saved, or it's just, I maybe picked the wrong direction, but a reel popped up and it was of Mark Zuckerberg getting sued by parents. And the topic was Mark Zuckerberg is murdering children, right? He has blood on his hands. And I was like, it was a good topic, right? So it caught my attention. I started reading it and I started getting into it. And I got infuriated and I was mad for a good 2-3 hours. I was just furious that parents and people are blaming Mark Zuckerberg for online bullying and causing children to do harm to themselves, and they're blaming and pointing the finger at Mark Zuckerberg, and they're actually suing him. And to hear
they will probably win.
Yeah, and to hear the court and everybody around him speak to Mark Zuckerberg as if he was a murderer, it just agitated the shit out of me, because pointing the finger at somebody who just created a platform is as ridiculous as suing the person who
making you fat.
Yeah, suing McDonald's for making you fat. It's like suing the person who created the car. Who is it? Henry Ford. Let's just say Henry Ford. Maybe, I don't know if that's the guy. I knew he did the assembly line, but Henry Ford for creating the car. That's like me going back in time because my child got hurt in a car. I am now going to go sue who created the car and make things right, because it doesn't make anything right. And it really just frustrated me because the parents are at fault here 100%, because you're not teaching your child how to use things responsibly, right?
Or you're not ignoring teaching them value in themselves, because they're reaching out to social media to seek validation. And you're like, and as a parent, you should say, you can use social media, but you need to know that the only opinion of you that matters is your own opinion.
Parents aren't having these conversations. They're not talking to them how to use things responsibly in that manner, because at the end of the day, foods can kill you or make you healthy.
Yep.
Cars can kill you or they can drive you to safety. Water can kill you or it can make you healthy.
It's called hyponatremia. Look it up.
Social media can make you feel terrible or it can motivate you.
I had a call back in 2020 when the whole first Biden-Trump election was going on. Not 2020. 2020. I had a call with a client and she was depressed, anxious, angry, all this stuff over politics. And I would watch her post and I would watch her comment on other people's posts, because back in 2020, everyone had a say about politics, right?
Yeah.
And I was watching her create her own fucked up environment.
Yeah.
And I was like, delete social media. It's that simple. You're losing all of your friends. You're losing yourself because you're engaging with social media in the most negative, separating way you could ever possibly imagine. And here you are coming to me, your coach, talking about you can't follow your meal plan, you can't be healthy, you can't make it to the gym because you're just so anxious, so mad, so depressed, so this, so that. And it's all fueled by social media.
There's a stat and a study, and it goes around the event of the Boston bombing, the marathon bombing, okay? And it says they tested 2 different groups of their stress levels. People who are actually at the event of the bombing, they tested their stress levels. People who consumed more than 2 hours of content about the bombing had higher stress levels versus the people that were actually there. Mm-hmm. So that means I'm not even at the event, but if I start consuming information, my mind starts going into, I was actually there, or I'm thinking about my family, or what if that could happen to me, or if that could have whatever. They correlated that had higher stress levels than the actual people that were fucking there. Yeah. That's how powerful social media is. Mm-hmm. And I became a victim of it that day because that really bothered me and hurt my heart. Mm-hmm. that I was flustered and frustrated for a couple hours because I just very disappointed at where the world is heading when we start victimizing fucking everything and
pointing the finger
at everything, and we stop idolizing people who choose greatness. That's not even a thing no more. If you do some hard shit, nobody gives a fuck. But if I post how sad and sorrow and how hurtful the world is, everybody's all like, you're okay. And you're only creating the next generation to become more weaker, and more bad shit's going to happen, and they're not going to know how to handle it. And so I think it hurts my heart because my program is literally built for the next generation of high school and college athletes to how to handle hard times and not play victim to anything. You are in full control of everything you do. You didn't make the team, good. Let's get better. Let's face the fucking truth that we aren't what we need to be, but you have full power to actually do something about it on the day-to-day basis. So the faster you can hit that realization of you actually suck, awesome. Here's some actionable fucking steps to actually do something about it versus it was the coach, it's my teammates, nobody liked me, I don't get playing time. Who fucking cares? Go get better. If you aren't chasing to become the absolute best and be so undeniable, then it's your fault.
Yep.
And it just frustrates me because parents are just looking to protect. Well, guess what? When they leave your house, you can't protect them no more. And now you made them a liability, and their chances of succeeding is going to be slim to none. I look at the world as the Animal Channel. If I'm a lion and I don't build my cubs to go out into the world and learn how to eat, protect themselves, and survive, and when they leave my nest and they go get eaten, that is on me as a father. That is on me that they're getting destroyed.
Yep.
And we don't see that in today's world. We expect them to just know how to do these things when they leave the nest, and it doesn't happen. There has to be an onboarding process of failure, of stress, of looking at the world as I'm not a victim. I control everything in my life, and we're not stressing more about this. And it hurts my heart deeply.
I can tell because you just vented for 15 minutes.
Man, it hurts.
Nonstop.
It hurts my heart.
It sucks. We see it every day. People are again more depressed, more anxious, committing suicide at a higher rate than ever before. And it is easy to point the finger at social media because it's such a powerful, dominant system, app, whatever the case may be. But it still comes back to us. It still comes back to the individual person or the people around them who are going to create a positive impact or a negative impact. And unfortunately, if your only advice as a parent or your only advice as a friend is, it's gonna be okay. It's okay, it's fine, don't worry about it. If that's all the feedback you got, you're part of the problem. Or if you're an adult and you're continuously letting yourself engage with these negative interactions on social media, you are your own problem. You are killing yourself. And so going back to, again, my client, I was like, turn it the fuck off. And if you don't, then just stay depressed and anxious and get nothing fucking done. And you're gonna look up in 5-10 years and have no friends and have no health and have no positivity in your life. And so take your pick. You know, I always tell coaches, because they reach out to me with troubled clients, my client's not doing this, my client's not doing that, my client's not seeing progress, my client's not, whatever. And I'm like, you can't want it worse than the client. Yeah. You have to draw or you as a coach or you as a leader, you're gonna drown yourself trying to do the work for them. You can't do the work for them. You have to lay the foundations, you have to lay the standards, you have to provide the system and the program, but you can't walk their journey for them.
I think when it comes to coaches or when it comes to helping people impact and change in a society, in the world, that we hide or we want to tiptoe around people's feelings. But your job as a coach is to tell them the fucking truth.
Yep.
And the truth will cause pain, and it hurts, and that is okay. Mm-hmm. I really don't understand why this whole entire society and the social norm is, we look at trauma, we look at sadness, we look at sorrowfulness, we look at depression as if they're not supposed to be part of life.
They are.
It's your human experience is to go through sadness, is to go through depression, is to have anxiety. These aren't bad things. These are part of life. Why are we trying to make happiness, joyfulness, gratefulness as this is how we should be?
It's the same concept with cortisol. For all my health freaks out there, cortisol gets a bad rap. oh my gosh, lower cortisol, lower cortisol, lower cortisol, lower cortisol. If you remove cortisol, you die.
Yeah.
Your body needs cortisol. It is a stress hormone, but it has positive benefits in the body when managed. So we don't need to remove trauma. We don't need to remove stress. We don't need to remove anxiety. We don't need to remove depression. We need to manage it.
Yeah. And that's a false reality.
Yeah. And the management comes from disciplines, decisions, principles, doing shit you don't want to do. Like, that's where it comes from. Everyone has suffered from depression. Everyone has suffered from anxiety. Everyone, like, when I talk to people like, I'm not depressed, I'm like, you've never been fucking sad in your entire life. Nothing's made you feel like a piece of shit. You're a liar.
Yeah.
You probably just managed it better than average. You didn't go to social media.
You've gone through enough of it.
Yeah.
Or
you didn't go to social
experience.
media asking for validation from random fucking people. Like, I'm so sad. Oh my God, my dog died. Shut up.
Everybody has fucking problems.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. And they're never going to go away. And you're going to have more problems if you never learn how to deal with them. Mm-hmm. And so it really hurts my heart. And like I say it deeply, as we try to live life avoiding these things. Mm-hmm. Instead of avoiding them, let's just learn how to deal with them better, become more emotionally resilient, and how to manage them. Exactly what you said. Oh man, it crushes the soul.
It's that COVID hurt us in a way that where we are lonelier than ever.
Yeah.
Right. It created this, since we all had to quarantine, it created this ultra reliance on social media to feel connected to people.
Yeah.
And true connection doesn't happen through the internet. It happens in fucking real life.
Yeah.
And so, when COVID hit, it was like depression skyrocketed, spousal abuse skyrocketed, divorce rates skyrocketed. And it was just sad to watch. And we haven't recovered,
So let me be vulnerable.
Uh-oh.
Only because I need to showcase to whoever's listening that even if you are disciplined and even if you are mentally resilient, you're still going to feel the effects of hard times. Starting a business and not taking on a job and doing little things just to get by is where I'm at. Restarting a fucking business from zero, from $120K to $2,000 a month, and saying, I'm not going to get a job, I'm going to build this business. I'm running 18-hour days with lack of sleep, and I don't know how long I can keep this up. Bills are starting to pile up. I'm starting to have to make decisions on which bills are we going to pay. I'm running at this speed and I don't know if it's going to blow up or if I'm going to be able to get out of it. And what I've started to notice throughout the week, I don't know, because lack of sleep, lack of whatever, or high stress and high strung, I've been having panic attacks. I didn't know what these were. And so I've noticed the symptom of when I got on a consultation call with somebody, I couldn't speak. Like my words, my heart was racing. I've had so many consultation calls. I could talk to people, but for whatever reason, my armpits were sweating, my vocabulary, I could not speak without running out of breath. It was this, my throat was tightening up and there's such amount of pressure on my chest that I had to say, excuse me, I had to pause the conversation and say, I'm gonna have to call you back because I literally couldn't get words out of my mouth. And I'm like, that stressed me the fuck out. Like, what is that? I didn't know what that was. Mm-hmm. It was a panic attack. Mm-hmm. Well, what the fuck am I getting a panic attack for? I'm having a phone call. What's the deal? And then I noticed throughout the day that the more phone calls I had, it started happening more. Now it's on my mind. I'm like, what's going on? I can't speak. I can't get words in my mouth. My heart rate is racing. I'm having these panic attacks. And then it got even worse as the week progresses, where I don't even have to be on a phone call. I could be driving and my throat would start getting tight and my chest would start getting pressured. And I'm like, all right, what the hell? Let me go Google. Let me go research. What the fuck is going on? Because I thought maybe I'm just stressed about these phone calls. So I over-prepped. I scripted. I looked over the script. I wanted to become confident, right? Because when you're in doubt, you overcompensate with over-preparation. So that's lower stress. That didn't work because it started just happening throughout the day. I'm like, whoa, what the hell, bro? Research, and then it looked up anybody who's under high stress, high amounts of stress, as if these pills are going to get paid, if my kids are going to eat, if I'm going to have gas money to make it to the next paycheck to just do, and so forth and so forth. And I become so mentally resilient that they haven't really affected me to the point where I'm like, why me? All these things. I'm always looking for a positive solution, how to figure them out, because I've been through this journey so many times of restarting. But it was actually like internally fucking me over. And I was like, holy shit, something is fucking wrong. And I'm going through so much stress. And you know what? I told myself, what you're doing, Jonathan, is hard as fuck. Growing a business and not choosing to go get another job and starting from scratch and rebuilding and fixing all the holes and figuring everything out, it's hard. And what you're going through, this is what hard feels like. And this is okay, because you are going through a season where this is what is required. And the only way to get out of this is to keep pushing forward and to keep staying positive and keep looking for solutions and keep implementing. And this is only going to be a season. And I always believe this is probably my hardest time right here, this moment. But right before that breakdown is a breakthrough. And that's what keeps me going. But I just want to be very vulnerable, as in hard times. I don't give a fuck how mentally strong you are. And this is what I love to talk about, mental toughness and resilience. It hit me in a different way, where it actually internally fucked up my whole dialogue and my body language, and was interfering of how I lived my life.
And those consultation calls are your window of opportunity.
The pressure's high.
Get out, right? And so you also can't negate that. It's a combination of all the above. It's not just the stuff in the back of your mind of bills, food, gas. It's not just that. It's also this moment you're in right now could help you pay those bills, could help, right? And so it's a combination of all the above. And it's kind of why, like, you know, my advice to you would be keep practicing, keep going through the dialogue, like record yourself on a fake consultation call and listen to it and re-record and listen to it and re-record. And so that ends up it's like free throws, right? Practice free throws. So when you're in the game and the game's on the line and you got to make the free throw, you're going to make it.
See, the craziest thing is I've reframed all those things because I know those things. These are just practices. But my wife, that's why I love my wife. She challenges me and she helps me look at a different perspective. She's like, I know you've been through these and I know you know how to reframe them. I know you know this is practice, but I think it's because this is the actual real life free throw that's either going to make us or break us. She's like, the pressure's really on that you have to close. And I don't think you've ever been to that type of pressure on a phone call where it's a do or die moment if we're going to progress or if we need to switch gears and change directions. And I was like, I think you're right. I think it's just the pressure is really high, but I'm telling myself it's not high, but internally this motherfucker knows this is a do or die moment. And so now I had to reframe myself. Okay, this is me practicing, not just me for shooting free throws in my practice, but this is me actually practicing the last shot is on the line.
And a great analogy is if you had to treat that client or that consultation like it was going to direct the growth of the rest of your business and the rest of your future, like what would you say, what would you do, right? So when I'm talking to coaches, and we've talked about it on Best Coaches before too, where I say, make the biggest fucking promise to your client ever. Make it so good they can't say no. But then make sure you fucking deliver on it, right? And so, you know, when I was growing Facts Over Fads, like I didn't have any experience in nutrition. I was not a nutrition coach. I was a fitness coach. And then I was making these promises. And I had no idea how to calculate fucking calories. I had no clue if I was doing shit. I remember when I first started and I started a little challenge and there was like 10 people in it. I had no clue if I was doing it right or wrong. I had no idea. I made a promise to give people meal plans, calories, macros, portions, supplement lists, create all these deals. Bro, I drove around San Antonio to supplement companies around their house, their address. To go talk to the sales guy or the manager and say, hey, I have a client coming in. I want to put together a package. Can we get a discount on it? I did that for 10 people. Bro, I drove around to 10 different supplement companies, creating protein, pre-workout, amino acids, fat burners, whatever, blah, blah, blah. How much is this concoction? 300? Can I get it for 250? Yes or no? Cool. No, I'm going to go somewhere else, right? I made this massive fucking promise because to my clients, I'm going to go do this for you. I'm going to go get you all the best supplements for the best price. I'm going to give you all the best meal plans with all the best quantities. I'm going to give you that one-on-one attention. I'm going to pour into you. And then I fucking delivered. And that was where, after that, I launched another challenge. 28 people signed up. I almost tripled my initial investment. The only reason so many people signed up is because I took such good care of the first 10. And their results were amazing. Then I said, dude, fuck this. This 28 people at one time is hard.
Yeah.
I'm going month to month. I'm not doing any more challenges.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this rolling enrollment where people can just fucking sign up whenever they want, and I'll just launch them as they sign up. I'm not doing this hard start, hard stop anymore.
Yeah.
58 fucking people signed up 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week.
So,
and it's because I made massive fucking promises
yeah.
and I fucking delivered.
On that road to make those massive promises cause high pressure.
Yeah.
And so
Dude.
that's where I'm at, is I've never had this many clients at one time that are brand new. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have no system for them. Couldn't keep organized. Because I've always just gotten clients, 1 here, 2 there, 1 there. But now I had 16 new clients at one time. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I told you shit was breaking. Yeah. I'm not getting organized. I can't provide that value. Mm-hmm. This is the moment where I need to provide the most value, because this is the fourth quarter type deal. If I don't make this happen, I don't know what that next month's going to look like in terms of, can I continue to go down this path? Mm-hmm. And so all that combination of my systems are breaking. I need to provide the highest value. I'm working these other jobs, triple shifts, and I have the sick children. Still got to be the man. I still got to do everything that a man's supposed to do in terms of responsibilities. And I think just internally was just like a little bit broke inside of me. Mm-hmm. But almost I'm sick-headed good. Mm-hmm. Like, man, like if something could break and just right there, but I don't break myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking for solutions instead of saying, whoa, me, let's bring things down. Let's change directions. I'm not running from it. I'm looking for solutions. I think it's the biggest thing that people need to realize is, how do you handle hard times? You look for solutions.
Yeah. And bringing it back to social media can be a very helpful fucking tool. It can be a very helpful thing. Again, if you scroll through my feed, it's all motivation. Yeah. I caught myself a couple days ago liking and sharing some sad shit.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing it more often and more often. And I was like, well, wait a second. The algorithm is powerful.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck that. When I heard something with sad music or a sad scenario, I swiped as fast as possible. I was like, I'm not spending any seconds on this to get my algorithm back, because we do scroll. Like, everyone is on social media.
Yeah.
And so if you're on social media, you have the power to control your algorithm. And that is the thing that parents should be teaching kids and people should be teaching themselves. If you're sad and depressed and you open up social media and it makes you feel like you're missing out on something, or it makes you feel like a victim, or it makes you feel like woe is me, you need to change your fucking algorithm.
If you're an adult and you struggle to do this, imagine your kid having social media.
Couldn't imagine.
Right. They're going to have zero control.
Couldn't imagine.
Right. And so that's why it's super important that I think as parents, the best way to lead is the only way to lead is lead by example. That is the only way to lead, is you have to lead by example. Mm-hmm. If you can't control your social media, don't expect your child to control social media. If you can't control the foods that go in your mouth, don't expect your child to control the foods that go in your mouth. If you can't perform at a high level in your career and do your study and see progression, don't expect your kid to sit here and study and make A's. Mm-hmm. You have to lead, and you have to create that environment where this is now the new norm. Mm-hmm. It's now the new norm. So that one reel that got me agitated about Mark Zuckerberg, I unfollowed them.
Yeah.
Because they had more controversial topics that got me more agitated. And I already know my purpose is to solve that problem. Mm-hmm. I don't need it reinforced in my face, because that really fucked me over for 2 to 3 hours. And I didn't like that feeling.
Dude, you want to follow a tough ass fucking animal primal channel?
Yeah.
It's called Nature is Metal. Bro, I was Tom Bilyeu and Justin Waller, or whatever his name is.
Swift to action. You see how you're going to tell me something? I'm immediately going to take action.
Fucking lions attacking everything. It's fucking, it's nature. It's animal. It's driven, right? A fucking cheetah carried an alligator out of the river and ate it.
That's what we are, though, as human beings. And if we don't train to survive when you get to the real world, you're going to be that zebra that gets eaten by the crocodiles.
Yeah. Jordan Peterson says, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Yeah. And you have to be ready for that. And the war is now currently, even though we have a ton of shit going on, the war is in your head.
Yeah.
Right. And so you don't want to approach depression or anxiety as a gardener. You probably want to approach depression and anxiety as a fucking warrior.
Yeah.
And you say, you know what? I know I'm depressed. I know I'm anxious. I look at my environment. It makes sense. Fix my fucking environment and do the hard shit and go to war with yourself to fix it. And it's not even a fix. It's going to be, it's not a fix. It's going to be fucking something that manages it. That's it.
At the end of my message, of my morning message to my athletes, I put go to war.
Hell yeah.
Going to war doesn't mean to go kill everybody. It means fight the things that are holding you back. And you start with your morning routine of setting the stage of how you're going to dominate it and preparing what you're going to stay away from, to that way you can stay focused. Is go to war is what we're training. Well, I'm training the athletes. All right, we're not going to go into the day soft. We're going to go into the day looking to dominate anything that comes in your way, because we don't just play the game to play. And I think most people are playing the game to play. They're playing for fun. All right, you're going to fucking lose 100% of the time to the person who is playing to fucking win. They're going to eat you alive, and they're not going to have any feelings about it, because that's how life is, and that's how the fucking jungle is. It is eat or get eaten. You get to fucking pick and choose which side do you want to be on. I choose to eat and help others eat as well.
And I was listening to, I told you, I was listening to Patrick Bet-David, right?
Yeah.
He incentivizes his kids based off of growth-oriented tasks. So like, do your kids get allowance? Do your kids get new clothes? Do your kids get this? Do your kids get that? He goes, yeah, but you have to bring me a book that you've read. I'm not going to give you shit until you bring me a book that you've read. You got to bring me something that is like self-development. It's not do your chores and I'll give you $5. Like, he's like, no. He's like, you have to bring me something like, and his kids are young.
Oh yeah.
And they're reading big books.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's adult type books.
I modeled my fathering from him when I found him about 5 years ago, and I stopped paying my kids for chores, because that's a standard. You don't need to get paid to do your chores. He's like, you need to get paid on knowledge. I started paying my kids to read. It was $20 a book. $20 a book. Finish it, but they couldn't just read it. I made them write a book report on it. So that way,
they'll fake it. You have to.
And it may not be the best book report, because they're unskilled at book reports. But eventually, over time, those book reports from my oldest became 2-3 pages. Right. It started off with just fucking half a page, and I was like, okay, cool, because there's effort. You suck. I understand. You have no skill, but over the course of time, you reading these self-development books, your writing's actually gotten better, because the writing today in the real world has gone to shit. Nobody can write anything. So that improves life skills. So when parents want to teach life skills, you do it through self-development, and you do it through books. They're not going to teach you this shit in school. All right, you're not going to go read about communication, leadership, and any of that. No, you're not, or sales, or how to present, or anything. So you get these from you as the parent, preparing your kid to go out there into the jungle.
And they're not reading fantasy books. They're not reading love stories.
No, it's all self-improvement.
Yeah, self-improvement books.
I want to see them win, man.
And that's what's crazy. I want to see you win versus I want to make sure you're comfortable. I want to make sure nothing bad happens to you. I want to make sure, like, that's the parents we have today. And I think it comes from a good spot, because most parents who have kids today went through some really hard shit. Like your childhood, right? You went through some really hard shit. So it would be natural for you to gravitate towards I want to make sure my kids don't have to go through the same shit I went through. But it would be best.
It's a fallacy of thinking, brother.
It would be best if you said, you know what? I want to make sure that you're prepared for if and when bad shit does happen. I've taught you and I've coached you through it.
So the last framework right here is, I was once that person because of my childhood. My thesis, or my theory of parenting, is I want to give my children everything I didn't have. At that time, that sounded like a good, and I think that's most people's go-to. I want to give my children everything I didn't have, because they probably went through some hard shit and didn't have a whole lot. And that's always like this progression. Like, there's progression to it. That's great. Like, it gives you hope of like, yeah, I'm going to progress to give them more. And that fallacy of thinking would cause weak children. So I had to change it. Is I want to teach my kids everything I didn't know. That right there changed the whole framework of how I now parent today. Is everybody in the household, we have our core values. We read, we work out, and we practice faith every single day. When one of those are off, you're probably off. And my kids, they're not the best. Sometimes they go through down seasons of not working out, and guess what? They're not feeling great. I'm like, hey, something's off. What's going on? What do you think that is? and then question them. And they're like, you know, I probably haven't been working out. Yeah, because working out fucking makes you feel good. Same thing if you're reading. If you're not constantly progressing or reading, you're going to feel off.
Right.
Because there's no movement for your brain.
Yep.
There's no movement. And so when I ask my kids, same thing, I'm not feeling right. He's like, but I'm working out. I'm still not feeling right. Okay, cool. Are you reading? You know what? I slacked on my reading. Third thing, it's faith, right? Because if you're not operating off faith, you're operating off everybody evolves around you, right? You're not staying grounded, right? There's something fucking bigger than you, bro. And you have a responsibility. And so whenever they don't pray or whenever I ask that question, are you working out? Yeah. Are you reading? Yeah. But I'm still feeling a little off, right? You practice faith? No. Okay, cool, dude. They run together, and nobody's exempt in this household. Monday through Friday, we all do it. Now, oh my gosh, make your kid work out, dude. It's 30 fucking minutes of movement. They're not moving anymore at school.
Right.
Have you seen what they do at PE? They fucking walk.
Yeah.
Have you seen what they do at PE back in the 70s? These motherfuckers are monster gladiators.
Yeah, climbing ropes.
Climbing fucking
monkey
ropes.
bars. Yeah.
Fucking wrestling. Doing 1,000 push-ups.
I watched this video about PE back in the day, and I thought it was a military boot camp.
So no, it's the same reel.
Yeah,
it was the same reel.
I was like, damn, is that the Army? And it was fucking like a high school PE class. That was wild.
So yeah, the whole transition of all this comfort, make your fucking kids work out. Work out with them.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Parents don't want to work out with their kids, so it's like, I can't make them work out because I'm not doing it. And then fucking, you're part of the problem.
Yeah, you got to fix yourself. Lead by example. All right, guys.
All right.
Well, if you got anything from this podcast, guys, be sure to take this one lesson away: is lead by example. Damn, just lead by example. It would change almost everything in your entire life. Raise your fucking standards and go out and win today. Don't play to keep up. Play to win.